All right, guys. So you know what that means. It's Friday. You've survived the week. It's your payday. You finna get ready for the club. But before you do that, you're gonna sit here and you're gonna listen to the real shit we have to say today. So you guys know, if you guys don't know, Coco's a little under the weather today. I think we believe she's having like a tooth infection or something like that, which makes it very hard for her to be real and talk all that types of shit that we be talking. So she's gonna be not on this episode, but she will be back next week talking the realest shit ever. But today I actually invited my best friend Koi Kadara. Koi is a model. She's an actress. She's a YouTuber. She's an entrepreneur. The list goes on and on and on. Oh, and she's a mother while doing all of that. She's a mother of two. Koi, how are you doing?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me, Carlos.
My pleasure. My pleasure. You're my bestie for the restie. So, I had to have you on. I was like, Coco was like, Carlos, I'm sick. I don't think we can do it today. And I was like, I was like, yeah, maybe we won't do it today. And I was like, but man, we didn't have a show last week. So I have to come up with something because these people, they need their shit real, and we need to keep it real on Friday. So today, what we're going to talk about is just like bestie talk. We're going to talk about personal secrets. We're going to talk about the bedroom. We're going to talk about parenting, bills, like just how we survive our life,
Yeah.
So I did have a couple questions from fans that I had collected today. So I'm going to start off with one of those just to get us rolling that we both can kind of answer. So the question came from Kaylin. Kaylin sent this question to me on Snapchat, and she says her question is, or maybe it's a he, I don't know, because it's spelled with a K. But I'm not identifying your gender. I don't know, person. But Kaylin said, "Who is your biggest inspiration?" Koi, I'm gonna let you go there. Do you know off the top of your head who your biggest inspiration in your life? Who has it been?
My biggest inspiration is Beyonce.
Beyonce. Okay, so I feel like that's generic. Like I feel like everyone says Beyonce, so you have to give me some details. Yes, like bitch, everyone wants to be in a beehive. Like, so why is Beyonce your inspiration?
Super cliche, but no, like for real though, like that's really my inspiration. Like I really do go to sleep at night thinking like one day I'm just really gonna meet her though. Like I'm going to meet her. I want to live my life kind of like the way she lives her life, even though like I'm super me. I really love her. Like I think it's just because my husband and I go into it like he's always like, man, like you need to stop with this Beyonce stuff, and I'm like, you don't even know. You don't even know.
You don't even know. So you're the African Beyonce?
Yes, like that's how I feel. God. You can hate me for feeling that way though.
Hey, no, I am not gonna dull your sparkle. I am not gonna dull your sparkle. You can have it all day. I think my biggest inspiration would probably, like, people are gonna kill me, but it's probably gonna have to be Ellen. Ellen is, because she's me, except that she's a white female and she's a lesbian.
But she's doing her thing right now too.
Yes.
Oh my God.
She's been always doing her thing. Like before she was a stand-up comic, like I am. She got into TV, like I'm trying to get into, and like she's just real. Like Ellen is literally just like the realest person. She doesn't hide anything. Like she keeps it like it is. And I just think that's like she was one of the first females, or just one of the first people in. Yeah, she's just one of the first people in general to come out on like national TV and be like, I'm gay, and like stand with it and be proud of it. So I think that's very important. And that's why like she's really always going to be like my inspiration.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But speaking of inspirations, let's talk a little bit personally. Like who's personally inspired your life personally, who's not a celebrity?
Okay, somebody that's inspired my life, that's not a celebrity. Who can I think of? You know what? I'm going to have to say Daystorm. Like just because of when I met him, like before I knew him, I'd watch all his videos and everything,
And before you go on, explain because I know who D-Storm is, and it kind of explain who he is and how you met him and what he does.
D-Storm is like a really huge I guess Vine comedian, and he does a whole bunch of stuff. He raps, he does videos, he does Netflix, all that stuff. You can check him out on. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people know him anyway. But yeah, so before I met him, I used to just watch his videos and laugh so much, and I was so excited to come to LA and one day work with him, and I got an opportunity to, and his advice was just amazing, and his energy was just through the roof, just super like positive energy throughout. Everything he said was just uplifting, and so it just gave me like so much psyched to just keep going and just say, you know what, I can do it too. You know, like you're in this level and I'm still like, you know, trying to start and figure myself out. But
Mm-hmm.
you make me feel like I can really do it and I could be on your level. Like I can have, you know, over 4,000 or 4 million followers and loving me, you know, like I can still do it. You know, all the messages that he was just giving me was just so amazing. And so I feel like he's really a big inspiration in my life right
Mm-hmm.
now. And, you
That's
know, since I met him.
and that's super dope, and I think that's super important to meet those people.
Yeah.
I believe it was Issa Rae, and she says, and especially in our like what we do as social media stars and like reality
Yeah.
TV stars in our industry, a lot of
Yeah.
people, what they tend to do is they try to climb the ladder up instead of
Yeah.
trying to work sideways. Like you have to work with those people who aren't famous just yet, but like on the cusp. And then even work with new people, because I even know myself, people will be like, hey, can I do a video with you? Can I get on your podcast? I'm like, yeah, of course, I would love you to. And they're just so shocked that I'm willing to work with them. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I am not that big yet, you know? And I
Yeah.
think a lot of that just comes with like, I think D-Storm and a lot of like Carrie Boy, a lot of them do a really good job at like being humble. And
Yes.
that's how they're getting
huge.
that far, you know? I really
Right.
feel like that
Right.
had a huge thing to do with it.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit, like what have you done? I know you do like Instagram.
Yeah.
How did we meet? Like, because everyone's wondering, like, how did we meet? Can you tell that
It's
story?
so funny. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna tell you guys how we met. So, we were doing a commercial in Seattle called Muckleshoot. It was for Muckleshoot Casino, and you know we were was it, the dressing room or whatever it's
We were
called? You know,
we were in the green room.
the green room, yeah. And so we're sitting in like a round table, and you were there with your husband, and I just came in and I was just chatting with everybody. Everybody was just quiet, and I was like, "Hey guys, what's up? What's what's going on?" And then I just see you across, and I was like, "Oh my god, like I'm gonna have to talk to you guys." And we ended up being partnered up to do a whole bunch of stuff. Like you were my man in it, and
Yeah.
so
So
ever since we started
that was.
talking, it was just
But
that
you
was
know
it.
what's crazy? Not to cut you off. But you know what was crazy?
Hmm.
We were just talking about helping others get to the top. And on that shoot, I was an extra. You were a principal. And
Yes.
if you don't know the TV mumbo jumbo, an extra is literally just an extra person. Like I'm a background
Right.
person. And then a principal is literally the main person in the commercial. So when I was there, when we were talking, they came up to me. They're like, "You guys have like great chemistry." Like, and then Coy was like, "Well, I don't really want to work with him."
Right. Right.
So they literally had to redo my contract and pay me more money, and I had to go back and like to the next. We did like a 2-day shoot, didn't we? I had to go back the
Yeah.
next day to
You
finish
did.
shooting. So literally, right in that moment, you kind of used your little power that you had to get me my first like principal shoot, you know, and
Right.
that was
Right.
like super dope.
Yeah.
And that's one reason like we've always stayed friends and like been friends and supported each other through everything, because I've seen you go from like working at your business you had here in Seattle, and then you're like, I'm gonna go off to LA and I'm gonna try to make this work. And you went and set the pace stones. I'm right behind you, girl. I'll be there in 12 months.
Right.
I just had to let you put your foot in the water first.
Right. Right. You know, and
You
that's
know?
how you got to do it. You have to put that foot first, and you know, because if you don't, you'll never be able to do anything. You know, you'll
You will
sit here
never
and wonder all your life, like, man, I should have done this, I should have done that. Well, get up and do it.
get up
You
and
know.
fucking do it. And how do
Yeah.
you? Okay, so now I know this is going to be a little bit personal, but how do you still keep your career and still please your husband and have a family life? Because I know that was like when before like you had your baby and before you got married,
Yeah.
you were just like pounding the pavement. You were pounding
Right.
the pavement, doing all of these shoots, doing all these videos. Now it's kind of slowed down, but you're getting your mojo back. You're getting back in your groove. How
Yeah.
do you do that? Like, how do you do both? Like, how if you don't have a supportive partner? Like, our husbands are pretty supportive, but sometimes they're just like, you know what, I want to be with that drama shit. How do
Yeah.
you like just let them know, like, hey, this is my career and this is something I'm gonna do? How did you accomplish that?
How did I accomplish it? You know, honestly, and you already know me, you know, I'm so into meditating and just, you know, putting out there what I want and what I demand. So what I do a lot, you know, is meditate. You know, I lay down and I just think about all the things that I really want and I really want to accomplish, or I want how I want people to treat me, and how I want, you know, the kind of people I want to surround myself with. So I lay there and I think about it, and honestly, like I just attract all of it. So I don't even have to ask my husband half of the stuff because I already know he's going to be receptive to it because I've already put it out there. If that makes any sense, so that's kind of how I live my life. I really, really, there's no other way to do it for me, or else, I'll just be all over the place. You already know I juggle all types of stuff within my day. And the only sanity that I do have is when I do meditate and just, write out my plan in my head.
And okay, and that's kind of like what I do. Mm-hmm. But it just gets so hard. Like something I'm going through right now. It's like I just made that YouTube page, right? And it's blowing up. And I'm not complaining about like I've gotten 5,000 followers in less than a month, and that's
You're doing
really
great. You're doing absolutely amazing.
It's fucking fantastic. But with all the positivity, them trolls. They be coming from under the motherfucking bridge.
Right.
They be over here trying to eat our children and still hide your kids, hide your wives.
Hide your kids, hide your wives.
They be trying to leech all your energy.
They in there.
Them roaches. I swear these negative people, they survive. They be the main ones surviving.
No, they're like roaches. Like you can't kill them. They're there. Like some roaches is tough as hell. Like,
but they survive nuclear attacks.
Right. Like, dude, you try to flush one of the toilet, it'll still come right back.
No. And you know what? It only takes one. Once you get one in your motherfucking DMs, once you get one in the comments, then all of them want to come out. They all want to come out from behind the fridge. Like, that's my hardest thing is, like, I've gotten better at looking at negative comments because I get them all, like, every day now. But, like, it's still so frustrating just to deal with people who are just, like, fucking ignorant. And, like, now I just, like, I don't even respond. I used to, you remember, I used to just, like, be on my phone, like, all day.
You're human. It's only right. You're human and you have a heart. Some people just don't have a heart. And so, only humans and people that have a heart will have things affect them, which is natural, and,
so it's really, so you hit it right there. It's unnatural what we do. It's unnatural to put yourself in the public eye and just like fucking deal with constant hate, and then be able to be like, oh, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. It's not a natural feeling. So that's what's been really fucking pissing me off lately. It's just like, I can't deal with it. I really just, it's like, do I really want this life?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
And like I keep telling you, as my best friend, the advice that I'll give you is just look at it this way. The person that's behind those keys, the Twitter thug or the keyboard thug over there, their life is miserable because if your life is perfect and not perfect, but like if your life is better and good, you don't have time to be talking shit about nobody else. Like, just look at it like that. You don't have time to be talking. So their life must be miserable. So when they do write those things to you and you look at them, it'll affect you. But look at it this way. Damn, they must be going through something because, hey, like you putting all this hate out, you must be angry somehow with something in your life because you don't know me for you to be writing this hate. So they must be something else that's going on with you. So for those reasons, I'm sorry for you. And
exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm sorry for you. Like, hey, my life is cool. Like, I'm sorry for you. So don't even take that and put it in your heart, though, because those things ain't true. You already know they're not true. So you don't let them affect you. You just look at it as they're going through whatever they're going through. And hey, I'm going to pray for you. If anything, I'm going to pray for you.
I'm going to pray for you. All right. I'm going to pray for you. So we have another question. This question is from Cyclone on YouTube. And he simply asks, do you spit or do you swallow?
Okay.
It's Real Shit Friday, Coy. It's Real Shit Friday.
Hey,
bitch, we know you got 2 kids, so I know you throwing it down in the bedroom. Don't even act like you were saying.
Hey, on a good day, shoot. You already know.
I mean, for me personally, when I was dating, I didn't swallow because I feel like I mean, I don't even know you that well, so I'm not gonna walk around with your kids in my gut, Yeah. But like with my husband, I definitely feel like he enjoys it better. So I do swallow with my husband. But if I'm dating people, when I was dating, I'm not gonna have your kids.
Yeah, dating for sure is off limits. Like, nah, I don't get down like that. I don't know what you over there, hey. But with my husband, I'm open to doing all types of stuff. So
that's what
I be throwing it down, way.
she said, I be throwing it down. You be breaking that back. Coy back, pow, pow. So Coy just got married in June, right? And
Right. Yeah.
and you were a gorgeous ass bride, but you were what, 7.5, 8 months pregnant?
I gave birth 10 days later. I was like, there. I was overdue.
Bitch, you want to talk about a shotgun wedding? It wasn't a shotgun wedding. They planned it out. They were already engaged before. They just happened to get pregnant before their wedding.
Right. And I was supposed to have my baby like a month after my wedding date, but the baby came 10 days after. So I lucked out.
You did luck out, but you were so gorgeous at your wedding, and that was such a long day. You didn't get to consummate your marriage that night, though, because you still.
I didn't get to do nothing. Like we got this.
Wait. Let me set the scene. Like after this amazing, her wedding was in LA on it was gorgeous. They had the venue, and at the end of it, we're all like, what were we, blowing bubbles? Or what were we doing? We were doing something. We had I
don't know those firecracker thingies that.
Yeah, the little sparkler thingies. Yeah, we were there with like sparklers and shit. And Coy, there's just like 8 months, 9 months pregnant, walking down the stairs, and the most gorgeous ass Rolls Royce just pulls up, like all jet black. I was like, this bitch would. Like, not only did you have a gorgeous ass wedding, and guys, I mean the food.
Oh yeah,
the food.
Carlos, y'all.
I was a straight nigga at this bougie ass wedding. I was in that bitch with.
On his
I showed up, took a little bit of everything because there were so many people at that wedding. I was like, I don't know if that's going to be enough. Well, there was more than enough food, but I was just being greedy as fuck. I walked up there with 4 plates stacked.
He was a spider up in that piece.
But no, you got into this gorgeous ass thing, and didn't you guys end up going to like a drive-through in the Rolls Royce?
Yeah, we ended up like literally going to Jack in the Box, pulled up in the drive-through, got us a couple burgers, and then we asked the guy to just drive us back to the hotel, and we didn't even do anything. We had like a big platter of like hella champagne, but I couldn't drink. And I looked at my husband and I was like, babe, hey, we gotta do this tomorrow.
We gotta do this tomorrow.
I had to take that corset on my dress off, and I jumped straight in bed.
Yeah, you were still snatched, even though you're pregnant. Your waist was still snatched.
It was a beautiful night, though.
But speaking about being pregnant and married, like, I've always wondered this. Is it awkward to have sex while you're pregnant?
No, it's actually really good. Like, besides the fact that I can't really do too much, it's real fun, you're definitely like, the way they say, you get more horny and stuff. Yes, you definitely do. Well, at least for me, I did. But you can't do the most, like I can't lay down. I mean, you can't lay down, you just have to do certain positions that, are compatible with your stomach. And my stomach was really big. Yeah. So, I mean, it's fun, but I'm so glad it's over.
So, also, any kids in 2018?
No more kids. No, I'm like, seriously, like, no more kids. Like, I'm going to get that one thing, whatever you call that thing. I'm not having.
What, a hysterectomy?
Yes.
No, are you? So you done? Like, you're not even doing like the pill. You just taking the shit out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they don't need to take the pill if I'm done.
Boy said, I'm just taking my bitch. Take these ovaries out.
Hey, I'm gonna give them to you, Carlos. Shoot.
Yes, bitch. That's been my Christmas list since I was 6. Santa never came though. Santa never came. I was like, when am I gonna get my ovaries? Shit.
Mine is fresh as fuck, and they get you there fast. Like,
Corey's like, I'm over here. Like, I'm a one-hitter quitter. You a one-hitter quitter. Who comes to getting pregnant? Shit. You more fertile. You more fertile than a rabbit. So I actually have a question. So I have this white friend. I like how I just threw that in there. I have this white friend.
Right.
And I was actually talking to her about you today. And we were just talking about race issues here in America and like how different people perceive them. And she was just like, well, all Black people perceive racism the same. And I said, no, that's incorrect. Because you remember our conversations, how like you're Kenyan, right? So when you came here to America, you literally had to learn about like the civil rights, and you had to learn about like everything about being Black, like certain words, like your husband's family will say certain words. And you're like, what does that mean? I don't know, you know?
Right.
How is your experience? Like, do you do you feel like it is like African Americans? Do you feel like they're way different than Africans?
Yes and no. Just because. Okay. Well, you know what? Yes. Just simply
Yeah,
because.
this is real shit Friday, so
Yeah,
you about
yeah.
to throw
You
some
know,
real shit.
the reason
Because I
I
know
said
y'all don't be
this.
liking us. Y'all don't be liking us. Y'all don't be liking
No,
us.
you know what it is? Like, I personally, like, I've heard people say that stuff, but I'm just like, I don't really see where, like, we wouldn't like you guys or like African Americans per se. What I do know though is like we're different just simply because a lot of us do not know unless we grew up here and were born here or whatever, but then would just be African Americans. But we just don't know the history like y'all do. Y'all have gone through this whole like, people within your family roots that have gone through it. So it's like it
Mm-hmm.
touches a really deep part in your heart, as opposed to me that, I know my grandparents, my great grandparents, I all know them and I know where I'm from. And, I have that to rely on. And, what you call it? I've never gone through any of that. So that's what makes us different. We just don't know all the way until we watch it. Like I've seen Roots a couple times and I'm like, oh shit, like this really happened, like this is crazy. Then I feel bad because I'm like, this is actually my people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So then I start feeling bad in that sense.
Because
But
that's what I always tell people. I'm like, they say we're different, but we're literally like we could be cousins. Like back, like we don't know because our ancestors were African from Africa. So we are our lineage when we came here, it just got shut down. But the blood don't stop. There's somebody in my bloodline who still lives in Africa. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's what and that's what hurts to me because like I don't feel like Africans hate African Americans in my sense, and the people that I've heard it, but it's the people that I've surrounded myself with, they don't say that. It's just I feel the same pain, even though I've never gone through it or know anybody that's gone through it from my hometown. I feel the same way because I'm the same color skin. So, coming to America nobody's going to treat me different because I'm African. They're going to see me as an African American, period.
As soon as, so another thing that's different about Koi, have you seen Coming to America with Eddie Murphy?
Yes,
no, you haven't. Oh, Jesus Christ. That one reference you will know. When you said Coming to America, I was like, jump on one foot. Oof, 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 oof.
Bark like a dog.
It's so funny.
No,
oh my gosh. So, do you consider your son African American, or do you think he's African? Since you and your husband are African, how are you going to raise him? Are you going to give him his African values, or are you going to give him African American values, or a little bit of both? Like, how is that going to work? Because he was born here in America.
Yeah, he was born here in America, but he is raised by an African, and his dad is African American. So I'm going to have him, do the whole Kenyan thing, like tough, like Kenyan all day, every day. But I will also, he's going to grow up here, so he'll know how it is to live out here. It's just, I just kind of want to protect him from a lot of the things that have been going on, with the young black men, stuff like that.
That's I know oh too well. I know oh too well.
Yeah, yeah.
I know one thing. I was talking to your dad at your wedding, and he was telling the story of your brother and how he got circumcised at like 13 to become a man. And I was joking around with you, and I was like, so we gonna wait, Zion's gonna be 13? You're like, hell no.
No, Zion got it done the day he got here. He was about 20 minutes down.
So that's not one of the, so you're gonna teach him more of like how you were raised as far as the respects and stuff.
The morals, the respect. Yeah. Yes. Basically the morals of respect. I don't want to have a kid that's, Mr. Know-it-all, Mr. All that stuff. Like, I just want him to know that you respect people and you treat people the way you want to be treated. And then that's what that's what every culture, like there's people that do the same thing. But in Kenyan culture, like that respect of like elders, stuff like that. I just want him to know it and have it in him. I don't want to have a little child that is crazy. Like I don't want a child that I take to the store and they're they're on the ground beating their mom. I'm not doing that. That's not what I do. You don't see little African kids doing that at all. Like you do not see little African kids doing
bitch, because they'll be like, you better straighten your ass up before we feed you them hyenas.
I think something to cry about right now.
Oh, okay. And then so I have a question that just came in on Snapchat from Asia. It's ADJA. I think that's Asia. I think this is directed towards me. She says, when did you come out? I believe she's asking when I came out of the closet as gay. So let's see. Oh, when did I come out? Well, I sucked my first dick in third grade.
Ooh.
Is that considered coming out? I mean,
That's considered knowing. That's considered knowing who you are.
I've never really came out, Asia. I've just been sucking dick all my life. And everyone just kind of assumed, like, I know a lot of gay people kind of have like this moment where they have to like sit their family down and was like, look, mom, I'm gay. I never had to do that, partially because I didn't have parents. My mom was a crackhead and I was in foster care. So that kind of helped me. And then just all the foster parents just automatically knew that there's this gay kid. So I didn't really have to.
You just look so pretty. You look like a girl. You already look pretty.
I did. I had like super nice, and then my hair was super long when I was a kid, and it was like down to my neck, and I just looked like a little girl, and I played with Barbie dolls, and I just did everything the girls did, and I just never wanted, like, it's not that I didn't want to be a boy, I just didn't like find interest in boy things, you know. So Asia, that is to answer your question. Koi, do you have any questions that you've always wanted to ask me?
Do I have any questions that I've always wanted to ask you? Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
Where do I see myself in the next 10 years?
Yes.
To those types of questions, I say I see myself leaving it up to the universe.
Okay.
Because I don't want to lessen my chances. We both believe in the universe. We both believe in speaking things into existence. So once it comes out of your mouth, I can be like, per se, this is not what I'm saying, but per se, I can be like, in 10 years, I want to have I want to be on E! News, or I want to be on a TV show and live in LA. But I'm limiting myself that to 10 years, because that could happen in 2 months, you know? So I don't really like to ask. I don't like answering those. Where do you want to be in these many years? Because honestly, if you were to ask me that 5 years ago, my answer wouldn't be anywhere near to where I am today. Like, I would never think that I would be on a podcast. I would never think that I would be a YouTube star, because that wasn't something that I had planned on. So I feel like when you plan stuff, it's good to plan. It's good to have a life plan. But when you get too specific, you just start to hinder yourself and you miss out on opportunities. So yeah, I in 10 years, I want to be wherever the universe wants me to be. That's how I'm going to answer that question.
That's fair. That's fair.
She said, that's fair. Where are you going to be in 10 years, ho?
Hey, shoot. I'm going to be sitting at the beach somewhere, you know, sipping some champagne, living life, not having no goddamn bills.
Right. That part.
I'm going to be living life like DJ Khaled said.
Living life. That's what really makes everything more important, is living life. And speaking of living life, I always tell people, like, I'm so open with my marriage. I'm so open with everything I do. What is one thing that you can tell young married people? Like, what is one thing? Like, maybe it's like, for me, it's like, suck your man's dick every day. That'll keep him around, you know? Like, what's one thing that you can give to women who just got married or who are thinking about getting married? What's one thing they can do to just have a successful marriage?
Oh my God, man. I could go on and on. This is like something that I need to like sit down and really write a book on, because there's so much to learn, so much advice that I have to give y'all women out there. But if you're a young woman, like I am 25 years old, I got married to a 35-year-old man. So he's about 10 years older than me. The advice that I can give you is patience and think before you act. Think before you get mad and throw a tantrum. Think before you do that.
Think before you call your best friend and be like, I'm done with this nigga. Because if you got a best friend like me, I'm coming and I'm throwing hands.
Hey, you know, think before you do something, because you could regret it later. You know, like think, like the words that you say that come out your mouth when you're upset. You know, I mean, you already know this. They can really traumatize your spouse, and they can start like resenting you, or, you know, just having things that they think about down the road when you don't even say those things no more. And they're like, man, I remember when you used to say that. And it just hurts them so much. So before you say anything out of anger, how about this? Get a notebook and write it down. Shut that notebook. Get a notebook and write it down. That's what I started to do. When I get so upset at my man, I go into my phone. There's this little notes that I have on my iPhone, and I just start writing away, man. I will write all
And you
types
know
of
what?
bitches
She
down.
does. She does.
Yeah.
I was in LA, like, was it a month ago, 2 months ago?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And we were at dinner, and this bitch is just like into her phone, just typing, like her fingers were like brrr, brrr. And I looked at her, I'm like, bitch, are you writing a book? Like, what are you over there doing?
Right. I'd be upset. I'd rather say that's right. You'd rather not say anything, because if you do say something tomorrow morning when you're happy and you're fine, or however long it takes you to be fine, because you will end up being fine because that's your husband, um, you will regret the things that you said. So you might as well have them in your notebook, and you could just press delete when you're done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like later, and that man will never know what you said or felt. And that's so much easier than having to deal with the shit that you said when you were upset, especially when you're happy with your man. He'll be sitting there like, oh man, you said this shit. You said that. I don't care what you're saying right now. So that's the advice that I would give y'all lovely women out there. Keep your
That
man and hide your man too.
hide your kids, hide your wives, and hide your husbands. Because there's hoes out here taking everybody.
Hide your men. Woo! Them ladies
Hide
out
your
here,
men.
especially in LA.
In LA, they see a man
Yeah,
who's
it's that one
successful,
song.
and you know
My
what? And they
man
don't even
is your
care.
man, is my man,
Bitch, no,
our
it's
man.
not. No, it's not. You know what? These hands are my hands that are going to be on your body. Cause I'm going to fuck you up.
I'm so glad she didn't win. Woo.
She said, "I'm so glad she did." But you know what? I just want to. I don't Speaking of SZA, whatever her name is, SZA. I like her songs, but I just don't get that song. That song's
I
about
don't
being a
get it.
hoe. I don't get it. I
It's
don't
being
get it.
like my man is your man is my man. No, get out of here. No,
And I tried to
nobody's
think,
man is your man is
I
my man.
looked up the lyrics and tried to think, like, maybe she's doing something deeper. Like,
No.
my man is your, maybe we're sisters and brothers, and the man is the daddy. Nope. She's
In
literally just
society
talking
today,
about.
they're trying to make shit right. They're trying to make shit okay. They're trying to make it like it's okay. Oh yeah, no, it's cool. Like, hey, we all share. We be sharing our man. You come to
Uh
share mine.
huh.
I'm gonna share
Uh huh.
yours.
You're gonna be sharing that syphilis too. Shit, out here talking about sharing.
We gonna be
Sharing
sharing
isn't
these hands on your face. That's what we gonna be doing.
Sharing isn't caring, hoes. Sharing
No,
isn't caring. Okay, you
sharing
don't
is
give a.
killing. Sharing is killing. You go die of a disease. No way. I'm good.
Oh my gosh. And then we have another. I'm sorry. I'm trying to not laugh, but Coco is sending me messages on Facebook. She's like, I don't like her. She a hoe. I cannot. Let's see. Speaking of being a hoe, I'm not saying that you are,
No.
but what's one of the biggest regrets in your life?
God, man, that's crazy because a friend of mine asked me the same question, and I really did not. Man, my biggest regret. God, this is kind of deep.
I know your answer. I know your answer.
Go ahead.
And let me know if I'm close to it.
All right.
I feel like for you, my years of knowing you, your biggest regret is that you didn't take the time and the opportunity to learn more from your mother than you could have.
Oh my God, you're creeping me out, Carlos. Hey, I'm done with you. I am done.
Like, I know that
on this phone because you know me too goddamn well.
Like, I know that you miss her and that you did spend a lot of time. You guys had a great relationship, but
you know exactly. You know what I was gonna say? I was gonna say I didn't take the time to listen to my mom like I should have.
Yeah, like you're a mom now, and you're a mom now, and like you want, like I know you, like you want to be like, hey mom, how you deal with this little baby sucking on your titty? Like you just like little things. It's the little things that you want her insight on that you don't have right now.
My biggest regret is, man, and then my advice to people out there, my goodness, like I cannot stress this more. Please listen to your parents. Like if you've been blessed enough to have both your parents in your life, or even just one, or even like a mentor that you've had growing up, please like listen to them. They have been there. They know. They want the best for you. They love you so freaking much. They don't want to see you fail. So when you sit there and you're like, man, I don't want to listen to you, or I don't want to do that. No, please just find it in your heart to listen, because guess what? It's the right thing. It's the right thing that they're telling you to do. And that's something that I failed to do as a young person. Up until I lost my mom when she was I just turned 21, and that's the hardest thing that I had to go through. But I just wished I listened to so many things that she taught me, because man, like now as a 25-year-old woman with kids, 2 children, like all the things that she taught me when I was young that I didn't listen to, like man, had I listened to them, I would be so much further. Like I will be so much further in life.
Mm-hmm.
So please, y'all,
And I tell Coy
listen
that
to
all
your
the time.
folks.
I
Hmm.
tell Coy that all the time because, like, you guys know, I don't have parents. I don't have a
Yeah,
family unit,
yeah,
and
yeah.
like whenever you're going through it, I was like, but listen, you still got your daddy, you still got a brother, you still got a
Right.
family, and like
Yeah.
even around Christmas time, like you weren't really understanding like the family unit with your husband, and you had like a detachment with them, and I was like,
Yeah.
no, that's beautiful. Like the fact that like it can get annoying when his family is just like so like just loving. You're just not used to that. You're just not
Yeah.
used to it. You're just not used to that unity. But then
Yeah.
afterwards, you called me back and you're like, damn, Carlos, this family is what I want. Like this
Right.
family is what I need for my family. And you just
Yeah.
understood it. And I like my heart melted for you because I was like, I'm so happy that like even though your mom is gone, but now you'd have another mom.
Yeah.
You could ask your husband's mom those hard questions. So I'm
Yeah.
so happy for that for you.
Thank
For
you.
me, no, you're welcome, girl.
Yeah.
For me to answer that question, my biggest regret in life, I don't have many. I don't have many because I moved through this bitch with smoothness. But no, but honestly, honestly, like because a lot of my life growing up in foster care, I didn't have decisions. I couldn't
Yeah.
make any of my own decisions. So a lot of my life I can't regret because it wasn't my decision. The
Yeah.
one decision that I did make for my life was going to college, and I regret going to college. I
Oh,
know
yeah.
people are probably like, what? What do you mean? I regret going to college. I feel like not only did it set me back financially, just with all the student loans, but it made me think that just because I had a degree, life was going to be easy, or just because I
Yeah.
went to college, I it kind of gives you like an expectation of like, oh, I
Yeah.
deserve any
A
job.
false perception of life.
Yes, it gives you a false perception. You're like, well, I got a job, so I'm going to be better than anybody, this guy who works at McDonald's, which you're not. That guy who works at McDonald's or that stripper could turn into the next fucking Cardi B. And that's
Yeah.
why I kind of regret spending so much time and so much effort and so much money into college because I literally don't even use my degree. I've literally used what God or whatever the universe, whatever you believe in, I've used the talents that I was born with and I've made a career and I've made a life out of it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, in college was just really hard for me because I worked 3 jobs. I was like paying my own house. Like
Yeah.
it just wasn't worth what I went through from like the money and the time I put into it. I didn't come back to that. It didn't
Yeah.
come back to me. So that's probably like one of my biggest regrets
Yeah.
overall.
Yeah.
Um, I have
Hey, that's
another
a fair
question.
regret though.
Right? Isn't that a fair regret?
Yeah, because man, you're
So
stuck paying them student loans till today. You probably died paying them damn things.
I got about like I got about like 30,000 more to go.
Yeah, wow.
And
Wow.
then plus my husband's student loan. So we're looking at like almost $100,000 and just like I'm gonna die before I pay you. Or like this career needs to pop off. I need to be the gay Cardi B because I need some shmoney. Okay, I need some
Yeah, you need
shmoney.
that money to finish paying
I
them damn loans.
I need that shmoney. So another question I'm gonna ask, and this one was supposed to be like more of like risque questions, but I kind of like the way it's going. I kind of like the way we're just asking like personal deep life questions because everybody you can ask like if you suck dick, if you like click. Those questions are entertaining, but they don't really change. They don't make people
Yeah,
think. So I'm liking the way that we're going with this. But I
nice.
was having a discussion today with a friend about raising children, and we just discussed you have 2 kids, and one
Yeah,
Santi's what 5 now, 6, 5.
she's about to be 5 in March. Yeah,
She's about to be 5. And then you have your young boy who's 8 months.
yeah.
How do you plan to raise them? Like I know you like Santi's a girly girl. She's a princess. She plays with
Mhm.
Barbie dolls. But what if she was a tomboy? Like what if she said, "Mom," like what if she came to you and said, "Mom, I want to be a boy right now." How would you respond to that?
If she came and told me
Or
that
vice
right
versa,
now,
like vice versa. When Zion's growing up, and if he doesn't take to football or take to boy things, and he's more leaning towards like wanting to like be a princess or like wear dresses, like how do you deal with that, or how do you plan to deal with that, or do you not know how you're going to deal with that if it happens?
right now it's hard to say, like how I would personally deal with that, just because of the emotions that probably would be running through me, I guess, at that point. But what I will say is, I will like support them, and I will be receptive to what they're telling me. Just knowing my daughter's age right now and how smart and intelligent she is already. If she came up to me and said that, then I would believe it, and I would just go with the flow of how she's. I'd make her feel comfortable. How about that? I'd make her
Okay.
feel comfortable to talk to me and let me know, and I'll just rock it out and see how it goes. Hey, there's not really too much I could do, you know, because if that's the road that if that's how you feel and that's who you feel like you are, then there's no point in putting a dagger or doing something that will change that natural effect, because you're 4. And if you feel that way, then that's just how you feel. It's not something you made up, unless, you know, you're hearing other people say it and that's what you want to say, you know? So I just go with the flow and see how things go, and just be the supportive parent that, you know, I would want somebody to do for me if I was in that situation.
That is so dope, because that's like that's kind of the same response. Sorry. That's kind of the same response that my friend Lauren gave. She was just like, she says she thinks that parents put too much emphasis on a sex, especially for a child. Like, boys can't cry, like girls can't play football, like, and we put these ideas into our children. So by the time they're like a teenager or an adult, they're so confused because they've been told their whole lives what they can't cry, or what they're feeling isn't normal. So I love that, like how you said, like, if that's how you feeling, then I'm going to just support you the whole way. Because you know what? I can't change how you feel.
Yeah,
and I feel like a lot
thing.
I feel like a lot of parents feel like their children are their property when they're not. Their children are humans, and their children have their own feelings, and their children have their own ideas. And just because you birthed them, just because you made this person, doesn't mean you own that person, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's how, like, with parents like you and like our generation who's having kids, I feel like teenage suicide and the gay people committing suicide at a young age, I feel like that will slow down, because our parents and their parents weren't accepting or as open-minded as us. And I think social media has all to do with that. We have access to so much more information now than our parents did and then their parents did. And there are so many more organizations that are out there for us to get, even as a parent, to like get. There's literally reality TV shows about, like, there's this show I was watching last night called I Am Jess on TLC. And this little boy came out at like 7 years old to his mom and said he wanted to be a girl. And his parents are like super supportive. And of course they get backlash because people are like, how can you know if a child knows? And that kind of goes back to like,
and that's what, go ahead.
Well, that kind of goes, well, for me, I was like, you don't know. And if they made the wrong decision, they made the wrong decision. If they wanted to dress like a girl, let them make their decisions. Because if they change their mind in the future, they can't be like, well, mom, you forced me to do this, or you forced me. No. You made your decision. You made your own decision. Now, if you cut off your dick and 10 years later you wanted a dick, sorry, you made that decision.
Yeah.
You know,
you go with the flow. And I think a lot of what I can say about parents today that don't really like they feel some type of way about their children being that way. I think it's just the fear of what they will, what society's gonna do. Just kind of what you go through. Like it's the fear of a parent. Like when I think about it, the only thing that would make me feel some type of way is just, man, like I want to protect my kids from all that. Like I want you to be you, and I want you to embrace yourself. But at the same time, I have that fear of, man, the world is just not good, man. Like there's so brutal people. They're so brutal out there, and I just don't want you to ever go through something like that, on top of the fact that you're already black, you're already black, like you're already going to go through something, so just having something else in there. But then that's not fair, because then that's like basically telling you to be something else and not be yourself just for the world. So why do that? I'd rather you just be yourself, and like we'll just have to grab our shields and just go through life with our shields.
That's true.
And,
that's true.
What I mean? And I think
that is absolutely true.
The biggest thing that parents, I feel like, are just concerned about is protecting their kids. But you can't always protect your children from all that. You just can't. Once your kid turns 18, they're out of there. You can't really tell them too much. So there's only so much protecting you can do with your child. Just love them through it.
That's true. I mean, and I think that's just through anything. Not even you can take what you said and you can put that through anything. Like if a friend's going through a rough time, just love them through it. Just understand, be there to support them. Don't try to like that's my biggest thing. What I went through this past week, everyone's just trying to give me all of these suggestions and like what they did, and I'm like, you're not me. Let me heal the way I want to heal. Let me take my time. If I want to go out and just like treat myself and have a good day, let me do that. Don't be like, well, aren't you still sad about what happened? I was like, no, bitch, I'm not still sad. I'm trying to make myself happy, but you keep reminding me of this shit,
So let me be. Let me live.
Let me live. That would be the name of this podcast. Let me live. The name of this episode. Just let me fucking live. And that's why I love doing Real Shit Fridays, and I love Savage Media Radio. It was because this is one place where I could be me unapologetically. And the cool thing about this is other than YouTube is that no one can leave a fucking comment.
Yeah, right.
It's you can't be on iTunes or iHeartRadio be like, oh, you gay motherfucker. I'm not.
I can't. I wish I could tell him what I feel right now, but I can't. Sorry.
I know, nigga, you can't. But keep listening and being a fan.
Exactly. It kind of reminds me of the yellow bus when the kids are in the back and they used to flip the other car off and you can't do anything because they're in the school bus.
Oh my gosh, yes, that exactly.
That's why they start blacking out the big school buses, the back window. They start blacking them out just for those reasons because the kids
really
they're flipping people off, and you can't do anything about it.
Shit, watch me get in front of that bus and brake check. Oh, wait, well, what am I trying to say? Brake check. I know I would never do that to a school bus, guys. I would never. I would just I couldn't even say it. That's why I was stuttering because as it was formulating in my brain, I was like, "Ooh, you just said you were going to kill a bunch of kids on the bus." That's not what I meant.
You didn't mean that.
No, I would not do that. But we are about to wrap up here. Thank you guys. Thank you, Koi, so much for coming in and filling in for Coco this week. I know that she really appreciates it. I know she was saying her tooth was killing her. She was in her basement because she has her whole podcast set up in her basement. So it's the most quiet in her house. And she's like, my teeth are chattering and my tooth hurts. So I cannot do this today. Aww. So I was like, I got you, boo. I got you. I was like, I'll have a nice little conversation with my bestie. Because this is literally what we do on the phone. Anyways.
Yeah, that's really what we do. Except we're on Skype.
Except we're on Skype. So wait, tell them where they can follow you. Tell them where they can see all your wonderful ass pictures and videos.
Oh yeah, no. Thank you so much for having me, Carlos. This was a pleasure. I freaking had so much fun. But anyways, y'all can follow me on my Instagram at I am Koi Official. You can also follow me on my Snapchat at Miss Koi Koi. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I do have YouTube coming on soon. I have content getting ready to post. So y'all go ahead and stay tuned. We have a lot coming for y'all.
Perfect. And as always, guys, make sure that you listen to us every Friday. Myself and Coco for Real Shit Fridays. We always keep it real and we always keep it right. And then also check out our Wednesday show on Savage Media Radio. And then we also have some other amazing shows like Troy's show on Saturday. I think it's called Free Yourself. That one's fucking amazing. All of our shows are amazing. So you just go on wherever you get your podcasts, just go there and look us up, Savage Media Radio and Real Shit Fridays. And then also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and on our Facebook. I know that Courtney does giveaways, like cash giveaways on Facebook sometimes. So definitely there's a way for you guys to go get some extra couple coins, and Valentine's Day is right around the corner. So don't have your girlfriend cussing you out because you didn't spend a little bit of money on a flower, So make sure you do that. Submit to the post, and you might win some money. So that's all I have for you guys, and I will keep it real with you guys next week. Thank you for chilling on Friday with us, and I'm sorry it's a little bit late. Like I said, Coco was feeling a little under the weather, and I wasn't going to do a podcast today, but I was like, you know what? We already skipped last week for some bullshit that happened to me. So this week, I'm definitely going to give you guys an entertaining conversation. So I will see you guys later, and remember to stay savage.